Alright, we're going to do another pod review back here. And I think it's ready. This plant's already dying, unfortunately. This one here might still be alive. I might try to keep one of these alive. I didn't really get too much off of this. Hope it's not blossom end rot or nothing on it, but we'll pull this one off. This is called the Al-Bab Pepper. Don't know much about it. Apparently it's a bell pepper, which I don't think I knew that it would be a bell pepper, but look at that, Al-Babo. Isn't that a gorgeous looking pepper? Wow, I bet you this thing's got heat on it. Whenever you see all these weird little wrinkles on them like that, usually those are nice and hot and whatnot. So let's get you into the light and get out of this mess over here. Wow, look at that thing, guys. The Al-Bab. I might let this ripen a little bit more before I complete the review, so I'll just come back. You ain't going to know it. You'll see it in one video, but I might let this sit on my table a little bit so that can get nice and green. So I could get nice and red, and so it gets fully red, and then I'll do a taste test on it. Because you can see it's still kind of green, so it's probably going to have a kind of a green bell pepper flavor. I could smell this pepper from here, believe it or not. It actually has a nice scent, like a pepper. You know, it's very scenty. It actually, there's a scent coming off this. Very peppery smelling. So yeah, look at that. Like a molar. Looks like a tooth, right? Don't pull my tooth. So yeah, it's a nice one. So alright, so what we'll do is let it ripen for a day or two, and then we'll be back and we'll do a pod review. So I'll see you then. Alright, welcome back everybody. Here we are doing another pod review for you today, and it's going to be on the Al-Bab pepper, and apparently it's a bell pepper type pepper, which is really strange if you look at it. It's got a lot of convolutions in it, and back out here. Here we go. Sorry about that. Look at the weird shape of this thing. Got like fingers on the bottom, and just an oddball shaped bell pepper. But I don't know if it has any heat on it or whatnot, but here it is, and let's give that a bite. Well, first of all, it's a sweet pepper, so there's no heat on it so far. I don't know, I got to get up by the seeds, but it's a big pepper to eat. It's going to take me a little while to munch. I got to do a lot of editing to pull it out, but yeah, so far it's a sweet pepper. It's very nice. It's got a very mild bell peppery type flavor. Let me take a couple more bites. That's a nice bell pepper, guys. This thing's really nice. You could stuff this thing and everything. It's nice and hollow on the inside. It's a nice bell pepper. It's a sweet bell pepper. No heat on it. And it has like a nice mild sweet type of an effect. The undertones to it slightly like it would taste a lot like regular annum bell pepper type flavor, but it's more mild than most of the American or California wonders that we got up here. It's not as sharp as that. If you let California wonders ripen till they're red, they can be quite sweet. I've had bell peppers that were so sweet it was virtually sugary on the inside. I don't necessarily care for that. I don't mind eating it fresh that way, but when I'm like eating it in a salad or if I'm making sauce with it, I'm not exactly what I'm looking for. Or if I put it on pizza, I don't care for that sweet flavor on the pizza or something. I just don't care for it. I like to eat, it's good in a salad, but that's about it. For me anyway. A lot of people like to take those and cut them into strips, and then they basically pickle them in some kind of an oil, an olive oil and stuff. So they pickle them in that, and they partially roast them or something, and then pickle them, and then you could take them out and then apply that to like a side dressing later on to your cooking. You could do that with a lot of times with these, sweet bell peppers. But mostly what I like to do is either eat them fresh or, believe it or not, I like stuffing them. Even if they're red like that, they taste good. And when you stuff them, you bake them on a grill, man, that's good. Or you bake them in the oven. I'm a grill guy myself, But that's basically really all it is. It's just a sweet bell pepper. Again, the flavor, I'll take another bite. Okay, so again, it's a bell pepper type flavor, but it's more a little bit more mild on the flavor. It's nice and moist, very crunchy and crispy. Um, it's got a nice texture to it. It's just a really nice pepper all the way around. I mean, if you're looking to try something outside of, your typical, YOLO Wonder or California Wonders, and you're trying to get away from that typical thing, you want to try another sweet type bell pepper, give this one a go. It's a pretty good one. What country is it from? Well, I would imagine Al-Bab, I'm thinking, would be from somewhere in the Arab nations. So you can see the shape of the thing was quite weird. It's a nice pepper, and these can get quite big. This is a good sized pepper for a pepper, but it wasn't very productive, and that could be because I just had it in a small pot and I put it in a corner. And the reason why I do that a lot of times is I'm proofing the plant. I need to know if the plant or the seeds I got is what I bought, because oftentimes it's not. And so I don't want to waste my whole season like, oh, I'm going to grow this pepper, it's going to come up, and then something else comes up. So for that reason, I proof my plants. And then I winter them over, and then when I'm ready, I know for sure what it's going to do. Now I can get ready to see what it's going to do for production and how many plants. And so I'll plant it out in the garden, and when I do that, I usually get more than 2 or 3 peppers off a plant. I'll probably get a half dozen, maybe even a dozen, because that plant will be a year mature, and that when that plant gets going, you repot that, break up the roots a little, repot it, or not repot it per se, but plant it out in the garden. Yeah, that thing's going to go, and you're going to get some peppers off it. So that's why I do that. I have to proof the seed for a couple of years, knowing what I got, and then once I do that, then we can see what the production is. But it's a great pepper. It's a good alternative to the typical California Wonder, or even the commercial grade bell peppers. I mean, I used to get commercial grade bell peppers from restaurant supplies, and they're a commercial. They're not necessarily. They go by different. They go by commercial numbers. They're not California Wonders or whatever. They're a commercial grade pepper, and I had some that were phenomenally good. They're a commercially bred pepper for commercial use. But I'll have to admit, it's not GMO. Forget the GMO. It's just a commercially grade pepper that's made for high production. And those peppers were probably about some of the sweetest peppers I've ever eaten. But and you can buy them green or you can buy them red from the supply house, from the restaurant supplies. And I would buy the red ones, obviously, because then I could save the seeds to them, and I get to eat the peppers. But I don't save those seeds, and I haven't had those seeds in a while. I wish I did save them. But yeah, they were a phenomenal pepper. And then you grew them next year and you got a ton of peppers. But this ain't quite as sweet as a commercial grade pepper like that. But it's a good pepper. I definitely approve of it. And what I'm going to do is I'll put whatever information I find on the Al-Bab in the description below and on the website. And I will also leave a link below if you decide that you want to buy seeds and give it a go for yourself. So that's really it, guys. That's the rest of the pod review for the Al-Bab Pepper. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Take care. Okay, so I know I just shot the video on this, and I told you it was sweet. I need to add this to it. I'm probably going to put this at the beginning of the video. As I'm coming up to the top of this pepper where the seeds are, there is heat on it. So the bottom half of the pepper was sweet as anything, and the top half of the pepper where the seeds are, it's got some heat on it. It's not a crazy type of a heat, but there's heat on this thing. So here's the top of it. We're going to take a bite, and then I'm going to give you my Scoville rating and opinion on the heat. There was no heat on that bite. It's like one little patch of this thing had heat on it. Not the whole pepper. It's just like a little patch had heat. Wow, there's like barely any heat now. That one bite I took one bite off of this thing, and man, that thing was cooking a little bit. I was like, whoa, he went from sweet to that one bite being that hot. That was strange. Well, what I'm going to say is I'm going to give you, it seems like this part of the pepper seems to be sweet now. But I did take a bite off of this thing, and it was loaded with heat. So let's put it to you this way. That heat range on that thing was about 800 Scoville units, that one bite that I took, and it lit me up. It was about 800 Scoville units, and the type of heat it was, which is unusual for a bell pepper, the type of heat it was it was like a big surge of heat came in. It was warming type of glowing type of a heat. It wasn't stingy or nothing. It invaded your whole mouth cavity, and then it tapered back relatively quickly. That's a strange type of heat. It came in pretty strong, and then it's pretty much gone now. And you're talking within minutes. It's pretty much gone. But I wouldn't say, I'd say that initial rush of heat that came in, it peaked at about 800 and then dropped right off, basically. That's a strange type of heat. There is still a little afterburn, and it's just a little bit on the lips, a little bit on the tip of the tongue, but very light, maybe like 50 on the Scoville. It's just like a tingle, and that's really it. But yeah, it was kind of a strange kind of a heat. I thought at first when I bit it, I was like, whoa, this thing's going to fire up, and then boom, like not even a minute later, it was gone. So that was a strange kind of an effect. But yeah, they can have heat, and it appears that the heat can form in patches on this pepper. It doesn't, the whole pepper is not hot. It's only certain patches of the pepper might have a hot spot on it. And that's exactly what this thing did. I took that one bite just after I shut the camera off, and boom, I got this rush of heat from it. And I was like, whoa, that was totally unexpected. And then now, as you just see, I ate a whole bunch of it, and it's like basically sweet, and that's all the way up by the seed. So it was like one little patch of that pepper got heat on it. Strange as that may sound to you, that's exactly what happened. So that's the type of pepper it is. So I figure I would mention that. I'm going to put this in the beginning of the video, and you can watch the rest of the video. As you see, I eat the pepper, and there's really no heat on it. It's pretty much sweet, the whole video that I just shot. So that's it. Just watch the rest of the video and see what I have to say about it.